Welcome to the Elite Podcast, where we discuss business, family, and life. Now, welcome to your hosts, Mr. H. Rod himself, Henry Rodriguez, and Ryan Arditi, the SCV MVP.
What's up, podcast world? It's your favorite insurance guy, Henry Rodriguez, and we're back at it again with the exclusive EliteX podcast. And in here again with me for the...
I don't even know. A lot. It seems like forever.
It's been forever, man. And I'm still waiting on the mugs, dude.
Your boy, the SCV MVP with Mr. H. Rod.
Let's go.
At it again,
That's
huh?
my co-host right there. That's my co-host.
Let's do it.
Hey, Diddy, you know what? This guy, for me, is one of my favorite people on planet Earth. So let's just bring him right in.
He likes me more than you,
I don't
just so
think
you know for
I
the
do.
record.
I
think he does.
highly
No,
doubt
I think
that.
he does.
I highly doubt that. Okay.
He needs a drum roll still.
But okay, drum roll. The community realtor, Mr. TK himself, Taylor Kellstrom, brother. Thanks for being on the podcast, dude.
Absolutely happy to be here. This is exciting and get to chop it up with some guys. It'll be fun. Let's do it.
It's gonna be a good one, man. And you know what? So I want to make this podcast a little less formal because, dude, you're one of our best friends. You know, you're just one of the guys here. Let's talk about the Olympics. We were just talking about how Steve Kerr wasn't putting in who?
Jason Tatum.
And what's going on with that? What's the backlash?
I think that's a political decision.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, he definitely should have been getting some minutes if we're going to talk about that. But even just being able to pivot from that and watch. So I watched part of the game yesterday, and just being able to watch LeBron James at almost 40 years old,
crazy.
like go and dominate like that is crazy. And
Dude,
beyond
dude's 40 years old?
in December.
40. God, man. Okay.
It's crazy. But being able to watch him play with Steph Curry it's a joy to watch.
Yeah,
Those
that's
two,
a treat for sure.
Once in a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
We won't see that again,
Yeah.
probably.
No.
There won't be a decision part 2.
Did you see the stat with Jokic, though? So it said Jokic in the game, it was 89-89. And then when Jokic was out of the game, it was like 29-2.
Well, I
That's
mean, he's
crazy.
one of the
That's
best
crazy.
players in the entire
That's crazy,
league.
Of course, yeah, of course. So sounds like you are enjoying the Olympics, specifically basketball.
For sure.
All right, that's awesome, man.
Of course.
Talk about Lakers. What are they going to be doing in the offseason?
Oh, man.
My boy Rob Pelinka, man, he got to do
Jesus.
something. But
Put some work for sure.
I think a new coach was needed, definitely.
Okay.
My son and I, he's 4, but we would make jokes about the last one, calling him pockets, because he'd always have his hands in his pockets and not know really what to do and coach the team. So I think JJ Redick actually is going to be a good hire. I mean, we need shooting and spacing. We need to get some shooters, though. So Pelinka needs to make some moves. But I think a new coach is a good thing. And even though he's clearly not really experienced, but as a player, he was great. High
Speaking
IQ.
of political
basketball.
moves, do you think that was a political move? Because I mean,
For sure.
I think there could have been. There's other better I think on his resume is he coached his son's 9U.
No, he has zero experience.
To my
Zero
point, right?
experience. Zero.
How did he
He has
get
a podcast.
no pun intended. But how did he, beat out everyone for the job? And do you think he's the right guy for the job?
Time will tell if he's the right guy. I think a change was important. I do not buy that he never spoke to LeBron about this.
Oh, 1,000, yeah, for
Like
sure.
that-
Speaking of politics, yeah.
That's
yeah.
for sure. He for sure did. But you know what?
1000%.
I think he'll be good. I just have this gut feeling he has high basketball IQ and he's
K.
gonna. Yep, he's
Right.
from Duke.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
And he's been
Yep.
well coached. He's been from Coach K,
Yep.
Doc Rivers. I mean, he's been well coached in his career, and he understands the X's and O's. And I think that's something they really lacked last season.
Okay.
So
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
He comes from a basketball IQ. I feel like he's going to do great. And he's surrounding himself with experienced coaches.
Okay.
Yes.
So there may be a method to the madness behind Pelinka. What about Pelinka? Is he in the right role still?
No.
No.
No. Okay, so that's a unanimous voice?
Oh.
Do you know who Pelinka is?
No.
Okay, got it. Wow.
Consider yourself lucky.
No, he's horrible.
He's bad. He's that
Yeah,
bad.
he has to go.
As a GM in general for the Lakers or for all
You
inclusive?
can't waste LeBron and AD's prime. I mean, I'm specifically talking AD. And I think JJ Redick is going to get the most out of AD. Look for an MVP season.
Damn.
Dang.
Wait,
It's coming.
from who? From LeBron or AD or both?
AD.
From AD.
Everything is going to run through AD going forward,
Okay.
as it should.
As it should.
get that, we might
Why
be
do you
in that
have him on the
championship.
team if not?
Yeah.
He is the best defensive player in the league. I'm going to live and die on that hill.
Okay.
And when the offense runs through them,
And LeBron does look cool. I mean, it's fun to joke on how old he is, and we should get a walker out there. But dude, that guy's a specimen, dude. Can you imagine having that physique at 40?
I saw that this weekend, and I was like, damn, that's what he looks like with his jersey off?
He's still elite.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Hey, LeBron James, if you're really elite, come on the Exclusive Elite podcast, man. Let's go.
And I think one of the coolest things that we've ever seen in sports, and I know you're going to talk about nepotism and all that, but being able to play with your son.
Yeah.
That was my next question is about the son thing.
I would do the same thing if I could play
100%,
with my son.
100%.
And I might get hated on for that, but it's never been done. And for it to be done with the Lakers, who, they do take care of their own. They've always done that, taking care of their stars and things like that. So to be able to bring Bronny in, I don't think he's ready to play NBA minutes yet. I think he needs to spend at least a year in the G League to develop more. But I mean, he can develop into an NBA player.
You think he's gonna play minutes this coming year?
He might.
He might.
Yeah.
Just to get the TV ratings?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my son is talking about it
My
left
son
and
loves
right.
him too.
Yeah?
He wants to buy his jersey.
Same.
Yeah, and he's super humble and he's hardworking and
Well,
he's
he has to be
athletic,
humble.
so-
He averages 4.3 points. I mean, what do you?
Hey, it cannot be easy growing up in
Shots
that
fired.
that shadow either. You know what I mean? But the kid puts
No,
the work
that
in.
is. I mean, talk about shoes to fill, dude. I mean, like, you're the son of LeBron James.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like he handles it well though.
No, for sure.
Very well.
I agree. I 100% agree. All right. So we talked about basketball in the Olympics. We talked about the Lakers. Can we talk a little bit about my favorite sport, Dodgers?
All right, let's talk about some
there's
trades
so
that
much
need to go
forward
down.
and backwards. Everyone's injured. We have no pitcher. But dude, what about this Ryan Rivers?
Got his first win yesterday.
Dude, he's looking good.
Yeah, he looked great.
He looked really good. But
don't even
I mean,
know.
we're so up and down, the ebb and flow with this team.
Still in first.
Yeah, but
Are
I
we?
mean, we should be smashing on these teams. The amount of money we spent on this team, man. I mean, we need Mookie back, number one.
100%. I mean, he was considered an MVP season before he got hurt.
What a change when someone at that level isn't playing with you, right?
Huge change. I mean, I'm a firm believer, and this isn't anything, not even just sports, but even in real estate office or insurance office, anything. The best person in the office or on the team is going to get the best out of everyone around them. It raises
that.
the level of commitment and excellence to everyone around them. You hold everybody to that standard, because if you watch the main person go in and outwork everybody, they're going to push everybody to not be lazy and to get going.
I like it.
I like that.
I like it a lot.
Can you rub some of that off on my
The
co-host?
cream
over here?
rises to the top. It's already rubbed on. What happened with Freddie Freeman, by the way?
Oh, I heard he had like a
son.
family.
His son,
yeah,
his
right?
son is, I believe, at Children's Hospital.
What
So,
happened? Do you know?
I don't know exactly the specifics, but it must be pretty bad. I
Yeah.
mean, he flew out back home
Right.
for it. So
They
Yeah,
call
no.
it
Prayers to him.
growing pains, but it's like a disease or a virus that his son got where he can't even sit down or he has to stand up.
so serious.
yeah,
oh wow.
is what I was reading.
Wow.
Hopefully
Okay.
that's correct.
Hopefully he's okay.
Well, we wish him the best for sure.
Yeah.
What kind of moves do the Dodgers have to make?
We need starting pitching,
Okay.
and we need a center fielder. Pretty simple.
Okay. Yeah. So do we? I mean, do we put Mookie at center? I mean, he can play anywhere.
I mean, he was doing pretty good at shortstop before.
I don't love him.
I
at
don't either.
shortstop. I
I
don't
don't
love
either,
him at
but-
shortstop.
Yeah,
it's
it's weird.
different.
It's
He's a Gold Glove winning outfielder, right fielder to be specific. But I don't love him at shortstop. Now, super talented. The guy could literally do anything. I mean,
For
throw him
sure.
out and pitch at this point, right? But if you need a center fielder, why not him?
Why not go get Cody Bellinger back?
Yeah, well, I missed that
Yeah.
guy actually.
Why don't we just?
that's-
He signed long term.
I heard a rumor
Yeah.
that's someone that to keep an eye on with this trade deadline.
Interesting.
Why not Mike Trout?
Why not? It's just money, whatever. Just throw it out there.
They just print it now, so it's fine.
What about Dave Roberts? His last year?
No,
No.
No,
I don't see him getting
They
rid of
don't-
that guy.
they
Why do
are
they?
very
Why
loyal
do
to
the
him.
Dodgers love him so much? I don't get
I
it.
believe it's time to turn a page. on
1,000%.
Who else would you bring in?
Anybody?
Bochy?
Anybody?
Bochy wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
actually.
I agree with TK.
Yeah,
I
but he's
mean-
already coaching, isn't he, or managing?
I mean, money talks. You
Yeah.
can get people
Yeah.
away from anything.
1,000%.
nowadays.
And why is it called managing, not coaching?
It's
Did
different.
we ever talk about
because
this?
the skipper he's not a coach either. He's a skip.
He's a skipper.
He's managing the game, right?
So is a coach.
But they also have like first base coach. They also have their other coaches.
So
Does that make
does
sense?
other
So he's
coach.
just managing the game and how it's being played throughout the. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of.
We'll school
Like
you.
pulling pitchers out too early.
or poorly managing a game.
Yes, poorly.
And then-
Yes.
That's why he's the manager.
But he has one of the greatest plays in baseball postseason history.
He does,
right?
He does, but completely irrelevant to now managing the Dodgers.
We'll see what happens.
But anyways, all right, TK. You know what? For those who don't know who you are, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, brother?
I'm Taylor Kellstrom. I'm a real estate agent over at Next Home Real Estate Rockstars. 34 years old. I'm a dad of 2, a husband, and I live in Santa Clarita. And if I'm not, selling real estate or playing basketball, I'm spending time with my family or giving back to my community. It's kind of a simple guy.
And that's kind of your slogan, right? The community realtor.
Yeah,
And
the community's agent.
You also have 2 little boys.
I do.
How old are they?
I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, Jackson and Jagger.
That's awesome, man. And they love playing basketball also.
So my 4-year-old, oh man, Jackson.
He's already a baller.
He's a little hooper. So he is playing basketball now with the city through the city league. He is definitely going to be way better than me. He's a little silent killer. Like he goes out there and he's averaging I think 7 buckets made, and he's playing like 10 minutes.
And he's being coached by Jared, right?
Jared McKenna.
Shout out to Jared McKenna.
That's my boy right there. So Jared is his coach, and Jared lets him run loose.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun, and it's really cool to see with Jared's son too, Grayson. Like Jackson and Grayson are they're funny together. They're gonna grow up and be great teammates for a long
I
time.
love that. Who's a better ball player, you or Jared?
Jared. Who's got more rings?
Who has more rings? Who scores more points?
I do have a game where I dropped 61.
That's insane. Can we talk
Jared,
about that?
do you have 61 points?
No.
What were you thinking at like?
Jared's a better player though?
For sure.
Okay.
Hands down.
But you have more rings.
I got 2.
Talking about the 61 points, like when did you start to realize, okay, I'm about to get to a number that maybe you never
And
even
what kind
thought?
of mindset were you on?
Like at 30 points, like what were you thinking?
It was crazy. So it was funny. We had 5 for that game, so I was playing the whole game or whatever, and it was the city league or whatnot. My boy Tamer was in Boston at the time. So I did call him right after, though. He didn't believe me. But, it was crazy. So we have a guy on our team that played in college. We call him Big Will. And then we had Noah Valuze, who's won a championship in high school out here. Okay. He's a
baller.
He's ridiculously good.
We've seen him play.
It's insane how good that guy is. But if you would have told me he would have had 8 points and Will would have had 4 and I would have had 61, I would have never believed you. But it was we were at halftime and I had 21 and I was telling him if I can get to 30, that would be like a career high. That'd be great. So all right, we're gonna feed you the ball every play till you get there. In the first minute and a half, I got to 32, and they fed me the ball every play, and I only missed 2 shots the whole game.
Wow.
I had 13 threes.
Wow.
I started getting double teamed and somehow still scoring. It was like an out of body experience,
Yeah.
and I grew up racing dirt bikes professionally. I didn't play basketball growing up or anything like that, so it was just an out-of-body experience. The other team only scored 48 points.
You had scored the
Single-handedly beat them.
It was something else.
I don't think people know how competitive TK is.
Oh yeah,
right?
he's a competitor for sure.
I mean, they don't even count the score for basketball for his son, and he's counting his average. That's pretty legit. That
might
pretty
be my
legit.
son counting that, actually.
What's his field goal percentage though?
oh, he knows it. He
He's
knows
shooting
it.
pretty good. I mean, he only misses 1 or 2 shots a game.
Yeah.
Baller.
He'll pull. He
I like
doesn't,
it.
and he's a lefty, so he always goes left, so all the kids don't expect it.
Nice.
So he gets in trouble though because he'll steal, and you're not allowed to steal.
Yeah, you gotta stay in the box, right? Or something.
Oh no, he'll jack the ball in the box. He don't care, and he's like a little running
Oh,
back.
that's right, you can't reach.
He'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
and he'll run and ping pong off like a little running back. One of the kids' dads is a coach out here for tackle football, and he's been trying to get us to put
recruit
Jack.
him, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he's 4. He ain't playing tackle football yet. And he's like, yeah, but look, he's running people over. I was like, he ain't ready for that, but he's funny. He's a good kid.
That's awesome, man. What is it like to raise 2 young men in the Santa Cruz Valley?
Oh, it's amazing. I grew up my entire childhood in Santa Clarita, and just seeing it evolve to such a great place to raise a family. It was great growing up for myself. Don't get me wrong. It's just we've got more parks now. There's so much more to do, with the city. I remember when I played basketball when I was 6. There was maybe 6 or 7 teams. It was really small. Now, I walked in the first time on the city league with Jackson when it started, and there's it's insane how many kids and parents, and I think it's awesome. I think that's the greatest gift in the world, is to be a parent, you know, and watching your child love something and watching them get better at every day. Saturday mornings are my favorite, just to watch that joy and see them happy out there. And I think Santa Clarita does a really good job of giving our kids opportunities to stay busy. I think that's the biggest thing. Keeping your kids busy will keep them out of trouble, and having parents active in their life.
100%. And that is one of the top priorities for the city, to have that benefit and those resources for our families, because we understand. I say we because I'm one of the commissioners. We understand that is so vital to a thriving community, right?
Absolutely.
So this city's so ran that even those small intricacies, they think about those things on a regular basis. Just the lifestyle, of how Santa Clarita is ran, and why it's important to have, beautiful parks and community services. Right? All that stuff is really, really important at the core of what they do every single day. It's really amazing.
A shout out. I was gonna say I met Jared, our boy Jared, at U Sports when I was coaching my youngest, and it's just a kind of testament to the city that he's still involved coaching his kids now, and we have a great program for the city of Santa Clarita.
He's Jared is director of community services or neighborhood services is what he is. So I mean, they have people in specific roles for things like this to make sure that our city continues to thrive. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, they do an amazing job, and I'm proud to raise my family in Santa Clarita. Yeah. There's no better place to do that. And,
agreed.
It's funny, like going back. I'm gonna age myself here. 18 years into high school or whatever.
Age
but like
himself.
everybody's
the voice
like,
over here was grays.
Everybody couldn't wait.
Losing hair, dude. I'm losing
Ryan's
hair.
losing hair. The voice over here has gray hair.
You guys found the fountain of youth.
Everybody back in high school, though, was like, oh, I can't wait to leave. I can't wait to leave. And then they leave and they all come back. They're like, holy shit. Like, this is so much better than what we thought. Because you don't know what you don't know, right? And like, growing up, I used to race motocross professionally. And when I was 16, before the series would go in the South in the summertime, like Loretta Lynn's, which is the biggest amateur national in the country, is in Tennessee. I went and stayed at my best friend's house in the middle of nowhere of Texas. Family stayed all here at 16. No AC in the house, basically. And I cried the first week because you really appreciate what you have.
Right.
And it was like a eye-opener. And then you come back after, a couple months being away, and you just realize how great it is out here to just so much to do. Yeah. And just the weather is a lot better. So can't complain about raising a family out here for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna ask him about your motocross professional career. Like, how did that start? Like, that passion, that dream, because that's not easy, giving your all to be a professional, especially in motocross.
Yeah, I started a little bit later than most people actually as an amateur. I started at 7. Most kids start at like 3 or 4.
You started later, it was 7.
Yeah.
He's aging himself.
I know. I'm trying to be older here. So, with that being said, I started as an amateur on 50s and then graduated to 60s and the 80s and then 125 and 250s and so forth. But it got to a point where I was in soccer, basketball, football, and racing at the same time. My parents were like, yeah, you got to pick one. And this was about 8 and a half, 9 years old. You got to pick one, and what is it going to be? And I loved racing. There was just something about it. Obviously team sports are important, teaching you teamwork and things like that. But when you're racing, it's just you and the bike. And if you do bad, it's on you.
Yeah.
Basically. So I really like that all of it was put on me, like the pressure is put on me, and I was in control on how I did. And, as weird as that sounds, but it just took off. And, I was very blessed. I got to train and practice at a young age, very young. My dad, he used to own 100 acres in Agua Dulce. Actually, the winery bought the land from us at one point.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
But
I didn't know that
Fun
either.
fact.
You learn something every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had tracks out there, and I probably went riding every day, and that's what got me better. The neighbors in the winery did not like that, so they finally made an offer.
They hated you.
They did not like me. They didn't like my dad. I was a kid, so they finally made an offer and sold it. But at that point, I had graduated to where I was getting sponsored and doing all of that kind of stuff, traveling the country at amateur nationals and things like that. So I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I wouldn't change a thing about it. Even in high school, kids were going out Friday and Saturday nights. 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was in bed. I was riding the next day, and it was a job. Yeah. In a sense, it felt like a job.
At that level, for sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah, at 16, I started getting paid to go do the thing I love the most. That's pretty in the world.
That is cool.
Is that where you think a lot of your competitive spirit came from racing? Kind of just in that moments of time where you and the other people?
Absolutely. And, there's no better feeling than winning.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter what it is, to be completely honest. Especially if you wake up every day and you work hard at it, you should expect to win. If you put the consistency in and you do the work, you should visualize winning. And just that competitiveness has been in me since I was a little kid.
TK.
I like it.
Do you love to win or hate to lose?
I hate to lose.
Okay.
He's upset right now.
What kind of question is it, H-Rod?
This is a side of TK that I see on a weekly basis, by the way, too. It's new to you guys, but I see this guy.
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah. I've seen a little bit of it.
My favorite part of your competitiveness through sports now, as we've met, which is more recent, maybe 4 years?
4 or 5 years,
4 or 5 years, that you've taken this competitiveness and you've brought it over to the real estate side. But like you were saying, like, it's almost like you and the bike, right? Like, you don't care about what's going on around you. You're in the grind every single day, getting better, mastering your craft. And I have got to watch your career because we kind of met towards the beginning of it, right? And you are 100% even competitive in real estate, where you've already grown so far and have already become a force in the business.
100%.
Right?
How did you have, that's a great point, right? How have you been able to kind of mix those a little bit, bringing that competitive spirit from professional athlete to real estate?
Yeah, first and foremost, you always got to stay humble though, right? Like, I don't brag about it. I just stay in my lane and just do the work. I don't really talk about it, things like that. Because life is a roller coaster. You'll be up one day and you'll be down another. And I don't care who you are, everybody experiences it.
100%, yep.
And you need to be humble with it. I think that's very, very important. I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything, right? But going back to, like, when you talk about competitiveness and all that, I think my racing career actually really set the foundation for my real estate career, as weird as that sounds. When I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I was making a resume and sending it to sponsors and calling sponsors. And I'm not, my parents knew everybody, but they're like, no, you want it, you got to get it. And I was always so mad. And it was the greatest lesson I think my parents ever taught me. There's going to be no handouts. If you want it, you've got to figure it out. So I was putting those things together. I was, 10 years. If I would have a good race at a national, I would have my parents drive me to my sponsors. I'd have thank you cards with a poster, sign, thank you. And built these relationships. So I learned how to build relationships at a really young age.
That's awesome. Yes.
That I've been able
great
to.
Advice. I like it.
And be able to roll that over into real estate. Because real estate, the most important thing about it is your relationships with people. I think it's really, really important. People got to see you as the professional, but people got to trust you. And the only people that trust you are the people who have a good relationship with you. And it's even like when you talk about referrals, right? I may not know the person that I'm going into the interview with, but I was referred from somebody that trusted me. So now you've got the leg up, right, going in. So rolling that over really set the foundation for my real estate thing. And to be completely honest, I have 2 young kids. I grew up watching my dad be competitive. Our kids are watching us. They're watching our daily habits. They're watching these different things. So I want, hopefully a very long time from now, when my time is up, my kids to know that their dad gave it everything he had to give them the best life possible. And that's really what drives me. That's what pushes me. And that's kind of what makes me me.
Damn.
I'm getting chills right now.
Well said,
Yeah,
dude.
that was great. That was amazing.
That was.
There's a new MVP in town.
Yeah, exactly. The mayor.
Jeez Louise,
Taylor
man.
Kellstrom.
Yeah, he's the face and the MVP.
Yes, he is.
Everything all together
Yes,
right
he
here.
is. No, well said, brother.
Yeah,
And you know what?
yeah.
That's why I respect you, man, for sure. Because at an early age, you understood, the importance of those relationships. Dude, you were going on listing appointments basically from at 9 and 10 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, at 9 and 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what you were doing. And you were setting yourself for success, or your parents were, by having you do those things, right?
For sure. They really, my parents, I can't, sit here and say I came from nothing or anything like that. My dad was highly successful, my parents and all of that, but they never handed us anything. They always, taught us you have to work hard for what you want, and no one's going to hand it to you.
Yeah.
And I experienced that at a young age. I owe everything to my parents because of that. My kids and my wife, we're all okay because of those foundations my parents set with me at a really young age.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great advice for like a lot of young kids wanting to either be a professional athlete or real estate. Like, be humble and just keep going, right?
For sure. And I grew up idolizing, his name was Ricky Carmichael, the greatest racer ever.
Yeah, we've already.
And Kobe Bryant. And what did Kobe Bryant do? He wasn't the most talented, but he was going to outwork your ass.
Yep.
And you know what? I get into the office super early because if I can get 2-3 hours before my competition, and I do that every day, you watch, as Christian said, you watch my career grow by doing the little stuff daily over and over and over and staying consistent with it.
You're giving advice like that, voice?
Man.
Yeah, where did this come from?
Yeah, where's this been?
The king of consistency right here,
1,000%, yes.
I mean, well, I know when I wake up, I'm going to see a story and I'm going to see TK working.
Yeah.
And if he's not working, he's working out himself, right? Because he's keeping his mind right. He's keeping it in shape. He's always working, grinding. The grind never ends, right? The
grind don't stop.
It's funny that you say that in terms of Mr. Consistency, because our MVP, the SMV MVP, just recently made a move in terms of brokerages.
Talk about competition.
And I told him, I said, hey, talk to TK because you guys are like
same.
He did.
You guys are different styles, right? And what I told him is like the grind, the discipline that TK has. You need to go talk to him about that because I think that's something that you could learn from him.
Yeah,
yes?
he did, and I've talked to TK a little bit about that, and that's one thing I do respect and admire about you is that consistency, not to kind of fall into those real estate traps or even professional athletes, those traps of once you get bigger and more successful, they keep trying to bring you down. And Henry had great advice, which kind of consistently still sticks in my head because I can be the outgoing, loving guy, but you got to be consistent with what you do and the people you surround yourself with.
And disciplined, right?
For sure. But I also think it's the company you keep. And I think any top agent knows that they can always improve. There might be an agent that maybe sells 3, 4, 5 houses, but they might be doing that one thing that I may not know how to do. I'm going to go and ask them, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
And vice versa, though. I'm an open book for people, and that's why I think like having you over at Next Home now, it's going to be a great collaboration. You grow together, right? There's plenty for everybody. It's the people that are, don't have an ego, that ask questions, that work together with others. That's what's going to get you really to where you want to go. And when you grow together with people, like good people around you, it's a whole game changer.
I'm excited to not necessarily partner, but collaborate, like what he mentioned, and just be around that to get ideas from him, and he can grab ideas from me, and we can grow even stronger.
For sure.
So,
do you want to share now the big news, the big exciting news you've been waiting for?
Well, yes, here we go. An exclusive Elite podcast, EliteX podcast.
There you go, dude.
Glad I brought it out.
The SCV MVP has decided to take his talents to Next Home Real Estate rock stars.
Did you change your voicemail?
I have not changed my voicemail yet.
What about your email?
I have changed my email. I got a saying now. I have a saying. You know what happens when a rock star meets an MVP?
I love it.
You get a mother effing game changer. And that's what we're about to do.
All right,
we're about to level up and change the game even more. And I'm excited to my office will be next to his. And I'm just excited to be in that environment. It's something that I think I've yearned for and needed for a while to kind of level up my game even more.
And
so.
I mean, you've worked with some of the best talent around, right? One being Jeff Brandolino.
Oh, man. I mean, Jeff knows how much I love him. I wrote a whole documentary on Facebook. Go check it out. It's got a lot of likes.
It's the exclusive Jeff Brandolino. It's got a documentary. It's on Netflix now.
It's at Ryder DDF Facebook. He knows how much I love him. I'm grateful for him. I wouldn't be here without him. But just like his new journey, this is my journey.
Yep.
And I think we both will come back, even better and stronger.
Love that.
And that's what I'm ready for. So.
TK, I'm going to circle back to you real quick, man. What does a perfect day look like for you?
A perfect
day. The perfect day.
That's a great question.
What time are you waking up? What are you doing?
He's seeing me.
Who are you seeing?
Guaranteed.
More than just when you're driving.
Perfect day is getting up early.
What's early? Be specific.
I wake up at 4 every day, so that's the same.
Okay.
Go down, have my cup of tea. That really gets me going, and then
Not coffee, but tea.
Tea. I'm a tea guy. So, fun fact: my grandparents and my mom are actually all from England and moved here when my mom was 6.
Okay.
So I feel like that just kind of
goes with it.
Half European or half English?
Yeah.
No way. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
why he likes tea. His cup of tea.
I love it.
I think Nikki at the office was telling me that you always have your tea in the morning.
That's like my trademark.
Okay.
But going and meeting up with my friends, we have a basketball group. It is a fun thing, and we get to play 2-3 days a week already, so that's pretty awesome. Come home and just honestly just spend it, I like to work, of course, but if it's my perfect day, it's hanging out with my wife and my kids, either going, to like a Laker game or something, and just enjoying the day with my family. Those are it's nothing crazy, but even just being home with them, like that's what it's about. It's about being with the people you love, right?
Yeah.
And, I couldn't do the things that I do without my wife. She's the backbone of my business, of our family.
Becca Kellstrom. Shout out to Becca.
Yeah.
She's the best, and she's the best mom that anyone, like my kids, could ask for. It's amazing to watch, to be honest with you, and I love her so much. She just holds it down, and
don't make us look bad,
I
dude.
know.
I mean,
well,
he's over here. He's talking about.
I got baby mamas over here. Shout out to my baby mamas for making me better.
Baby mama.
Baby mama.
Oh my God.
No, but this guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Like they're lucky to have you too, man. I know
Yeah,
you say all these things, but they're great. They're lucky to have you in their life as well.
I couldn't be me without them, though.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I want to tell you something, and hopefully you remember, but you've probably been the person who said something that has meant more to me than anybody. And that hey, I see what a dedicated man you are to your family and to Brenda. And I want you to know that I 100% respect that and back that, because not everyone is like that. And
I remember the day we had that conversation.
Man, that has stuck with me since, right? And I always look at you as, I don't want to call you a little brother because I feel like we're very equal, but you're someone that I look to as a role model and someone that I want to, help both of us inspire each other to the top. Right, because you have the right morals.
Should we leave the room? Do you guys need a moment?
Yeah, no.
Can you play that music? Bounce, chicka, bounce.
Man.
It's really about.
Hey, we'll be back.
Don't get jealous.
Wait, go ahead. You know what's funny? He's told me the same thing. I had the most important, so now I'm jealous.
He's never told me that ever.
So wait. I understand that.
Didn't tell you guys that either. Surprise.
So perfect day, 4 a.m. Your cup of tea.
Talking to Christian.
Are you working? You guys are doing something weird.
I'm playing basketball.
We're playing basketball, getting dirty.
Okay. So playing basketball with your boys. Are you working on that perfect day?
No.
We're not working at all.
I work all the time, so that day is for my kids and my wife.
I love that. Okay,
I like
cool.
that too, because we all say perfect day. I'm waking up, I'm making calls, I'm calling clients. Like his perfect day is family.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Everyone's perfect day is a little different, right?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about the perfect day on previous episodes. Mine does include a little bit of work, because for me that's just the mentality I have to do. I have to work. I have to have a checklist. I have to have something that I can say, okay, I accomplished this.
Yeah.
In order to get to like a reward would be to hang out with the boys. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but again, everyone's perfect day is different. So
Yeah,
and yours sounds pretty damn perfect, dude.
Yeah, I work 7 days a week already, and 10, 12 hours a day on weekends too. So my perfect day is not that.
Yeah, sure, no, 100%.
I like it.
I'm gonna switch subjects because you're a true entrepreneur. You also had a bookstore.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
All right, let's go. So it was kind of crazy how it all transpired and came about. So when I was racing professionally, I blew my knee out for a second time.
Twice.
Yeah.
Actually, racing.
Yeah.
Blew it up.
Yeah. And I went to COC for a semester while I was rehabbing my knee. I didn't plan on actually retiring from racing at that moment, but I kind of saw how expensive textbooks were on campus and was like, we could totally undercut these guys and start a business. So I put a business plan together and found investors and opened up this off-campus textbook store, and it took off. I started making more money doing that than racing, so it was an easy decision when the time came. And we were cheaper than the on-campus bookstore. We were cheaper than Amazon. So we're actually saving students money on their books.
Cheaper than Amazon? Who's cheaper than Amazon these days?
Yeah.
Is it the classroom books or it was just?
It was the campus one. So
Campus
like
book.
if you were like in Anthropology 101 and the teacher required that book, that would be the book. So
okay.
like our entire store was organized based on subject, class, and teacher because different teachers require different ones.
Right.
So because it was a public school, they have to release this information months in advance so that I could get my ordering done in time and things like that because we're a taxpayer.
Yeah.
So, and fun fact though, at the time, COC didn't actually own that bookstore. They leased the space to Barnes & Noble. So it was actually Barnes & Noble.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
That
Okay,
was
yeah.
our competition.
Yeah, okay.
So they hated me.
That's a big competitor right there.
They hated me.
Let's take on the big guy. Yeah, Barnes
So-
and Noble. Okay.
Yeah, they did not like me, but I was a student there, so there was nothing they could do.
Yeah.
And so that business helped me buy a house at 21 years old and
Wow.
really was the foundation of getting my life started. And then the cool part with that is when school starts and when school ends, it was really, really busy. Like I basically had a bed there and never left. But the middle of semester, it didn't need me. Nobody's buying really books there. We did online orders and stuff for different colleges, but it was never like it didn't really need me, right? So I went and got my real estate license when I was 25 and started doing real estate,
On your off time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
And that's what kind of got going. And then life got real crazy in 2020. We all know that.
Yeah.
That was like one of the craziest like pivoting moments I would say like in my career, other than when I got hurt and decided to do a bookstore. But when that happened, the campus announced that they weren't going to let anybody be on campus for at least a year. So if you lived in, Castaic or Deep Canyon country, it was not convenient to come across town to get your book. You go to Amazon and pay the extra $3-4
That
and
makes sense.
They'll deliver it.
yeah. So we were very fortunate. Our lease was up in June 2020. So we pivoted and I actually sold the store to Amazon.
Wow.
Amazon bought me out.
Okay.
So they bought me out, and at that time, I was already doing, 8-9 transactions a year in real estate, and that was more part-time, right? And I had just had my son. My son was 6 months old, and it was one of those moments where, like, when you look back on anyone who's, like, had some success in their career, what was that defining moment? And that was it. That was I'm going all in, and this is how we're going to do it, and it turned out pretty well for us, so... Kind of a crazy ride.
That's a great story.
Great story, man. Great story.
Great entrepreneur story too.
100%. Voice, you wanna reel it in here? Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, was I supposed to do questions
did
right now?
Did I catch you on the spot?
You
if not,
definitely-
I have a few other questions for him.
I feel like the
please.
voice is googie eyed right
He
now.
is.
Look at it. Yeah,
I
he's
caught him
like-
off guard. He's like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
my God, it's TK.
Well, how many compliments do you want me to give the guy? You know what I mean? Because another part of the story is that the young lady that ran the bookstore with him still works with him today.
Yes.
And that just goes to show.
Oh, that's right.
Lexi
Yeah.
goes to
Lexi.
show
She-
his
I didn't know
character
that. No
of
way.
of who he is.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
bringing everyone up.
And
with
she was a professional.
She rode for fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, she
Motocross or?
she rides dirt bikes.
Okay.
So she's one of the best. So her sister actually worked for me first at the bookstore, and then she got a job with me at the bookstore. She worked there for a good 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
And then the whole thing with COVID, so I told her go get your real estate license, and let's go do this
go.
thing. And she ended up doing that, and she works for me over at Next Home still.
I think that's a true testament
awesome.
of the character and leader that you are.
Yep.
Right. So she trusted you that when you sold the business, you're still going to take care of her, and she followed you.
Yes.
Right. That's true leadership, dude. Right there.
I'm very blessed though for where the numbers I'm doing this year and the year before and things like that. Like she is the backbone of my business too. Like she helps out with a lot of stuff, and I owe a lot to her too. And anyone that has any kind of success, like there's good people around them.
Yep.
And they trust people, and she's one of those people for me.
Love that, TK. Love that.
What was the name of the bookstore? Was it called The Bookstore?
SCV Book Exchange.
Okay. All right.
I like it. I like it. All right. A few more questions, TK. Tell us about your passion regarding all the nonprofit work you do. You're like Mr. Nonprofit.
I believe that everyone is put on this planet for a reason and a purpose, and I believe that my purpose here is to help people. I don't do this to try and get business out of it or anything like that. I've been doing this since I was 20 years old as far as being involved in the community and stuff. I was a patient at Children's Hospital as a kid from a motocross accident. I was actually airlifted there.
Wow.
From hitting my head pretty
All
damn
this stuff
hard.
I'm learning.
And so I was about 11 or 12 when that happened, but I always wanted to do something to give back to that hospital. And when I was 20, I did my first bowling event called Bowling for Kids. Mm-hmm. We sold out, and it was more of just an event to get all my buddies who were home from college together and just raise some money. And it ended up selling out. So we've been doing this every year now for the last 13 years. We took a year off because of COVID or whatnot. But I just always believed, like, to give back and help people because you know what? Like, my family went through a tough time, and there's people who go through a lot worse. And I've been involved with Circle of Hope. I was the past president there for a while. During my presidency, we were able to open up the first cancer wellness center in Santa Clarita.
Amazing, TK.
Yeah.
So
you should be commended for that for sure.
Yeah.
that is probably my proudest moment in my other than my kids being born and getting married is opening that cancer wellness center and being a co-founder of that.
How many
That's
people
really
you
special.
affected and helped throughout that journey?
It's almost like you should be nominated for Man of the Year or
Yeah,
something.
what is going on?
What
here?
is going on? You're like the Susan Lucci of this thing. Dude, how many years
No,
are
it's
you
Susan
nominated?
Sarandon. Well, it's-
Whatever it is. How many years do you have to be nominated? How the heck are we going to
Yeah,
get
how
you
do
to
we
win
do
this
this?
thing?
You know, I've been nominated 10 times.
No.
Not from
All right,
children's.
big guns are coming out.
Yeah,
We're going
I
to
don't
get this
know.
guy.
We got TK Cruz
You
over
need
here.
I've
to
been
recognize
trying.
this. Let's go.
I've been
can we
trying.
do?
That's our mission this year is to get him to get no more nominations. We're going to win this thing now.
You know, it's really cool to be recognized and all that, but it to me, it's about helping people. And it's cool, to be noticed and all that, but to be able to help all the people from my time at Circle of Hope, even being past president of JCI and partnering with nonprofits and helping with that. We do a big event called Santa's Helpers when I was at JCI, and they still are doing that now. I've been on the board at the College of the Canyons Foundation, and I was on the board for Child and Family Center, and I was a vice president of Max Relief Foundation. And then lastly, I am on the board for the SCV Education Foundation.
Wow.
So,
Look at all this, man.
This is over
Young
like
man.
a 14-year span, though.
Impressive. Hey, Ryan, what do you do? Oh, and it's already ended. Okay, got it.
I'm on the MVP board, all right?
Man,
I want to ask you about this tournament that you're doing, the Battle of the Brands basketball thing.
Oh, I'm
is
playing
this a
in
real
it.
thing?
This is a real
this
thing.
Is cool. Like, is it just a couple of companies, or is it?
So,
Have you guys seen
my
this?
buddy Jess that works over at Remax, it's actually his nonprofit, The New Way. He's actually putting it together, and we are playing in it. And apparently, there's a side thing going on between a Next Home versus Remax. So
What is this?
Yeah.
What
this
is
this
this?
is getting kind of hype.
Is it?
I haven't seen
I
it.
heard this one yet.
I actually was like, who is Remax going to bring out? And not knowing and remembering who they have. They
got
have
some
a big
hoopers.
three. It's going to be.
Who's their big
Well, they
three?
have
We
your
got-
guy then. They
got Noah?
They have Noah.
Jess.
Oh, they got
got
Noah.
Jess.
Jess
can
good?
hoop.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
okay.
Jess,
We
Okay.
played with him on Sunday.
Guidos.
Weichel.
And
Alec
Weichel.
Weichel.
Alec third.
balls
Which
too?
I don't know, but I ran
Neil
into
can
him
ball.
on Sunday,
Neil can ball.
and
No,
he played
Alec.
high school, right? And so he's got
Alec
to be.
played in high school.
Alec played in high school, I
Really?
think.
Yeah, he
West
did.
Ranch.
Yeah, he played with Alec Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, they have
So
a
they got-
solid.
they got a
have
squad.
They have a squad.
When is this going down so we can watch this?
The 11th, I believe.
should
it's
be
August
there
11th.
live.
We should be
with a
there.
broadcast
Let's go.
there.
Yeah. Let's broadcast.
You
it.
guys should get a team
What?
together.
Oh, we're gonna with Ryan, really?
Yeah, why
Dude.
not?
Oh.
It's for charity.
I take you out to
I just-
dribble all day, dude. He ain't guarding me right here.
I got a team.
No.
He just said he'd take you off the
I
dribble.
don't dribble. I shoot.
But then I gotta die chasing him around.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh, yeah,
right.
No, we'd be on the same team.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we're good.
No,
now.
he's,
Oh, yeah,
you're,
we're
not,
good. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not on his team.
TK,
It's
something
next
that
home.
TK, something you have been nominated and we actually recognize you for is Mr. Elite, dude. Talk about you've been part of our network for a long time now. Talk about the impact of the network and why you're involved, and what does it mean to be Mr. Elite this year?
Well, I mean, it's awesome to be recognized by your peers, right? By fellow colleagues that I work with on a day-to-day basis. That's the coolest part, I think, is just to be recognized for what we do on a day-to-day basis. But I think networking is really important, and we touched on it earlier. Your relationships are huge, and being able to build relationships with other agents and affiliates, I think, is really, really important, especially when you get in a more competitive market. When you know the other agent on the other side, it does make a difference, 100%.
It's a huge difference.
So it's definitely helped my business for sure. And more importantly, if it helps me, it helps my clients.
Yeah.
And that's what we do this for, right? We do this for our clients. So when we meet weekly on Wednesdays, we're already looking for our clients. We're out there, our boots to the ground, working hard for them, trying to turn over any stone that we can. And you're able to do that in your networking group, right? You're able to collaborate with, and you also too collaborate, learn from other agents what they're doing and apply that to your game.
Yep, I love that.
Share, Henry. Collaborate.
The people at the top collaborate. The people at the bottom compete.
Yep.
We've said that several times on this
For
podcast, right?
I think Next Home's the only broker in Santa Cruz that has 2 Mr. Elites on there.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
How about that?
We're
Huh?
throwing it
How
out
about
Let's
that?
go.
How about that?
Ryan's
What's
wanted
up?
to plug in that he was a Mr. Elite before. He's like the forgotten Mr. Elite.
You can never forget
Before the
him.
Elite. Yeah.
All right, TK, brother, thank you so much, man. You bring a lot of energy. More importantly, our community is grateful to have you, man. Thank you for being on our podcast.
Of course.
Ryan, sign us off, brother.
Yeah, I'm more lucky to have TK. He's the best of the best. I don't even know what episode we're on, but they keep getting amazing every day.
Yep.
And I think we're officially
Out.
out.